Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start with a story in which our OP encountered a real piece of work in the form of these students' mom. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Have a problem with the policy? Fine, I'll change it. I used to work as an administrator in a secondary school in the U.S., grades 9 through 12, around 10 years ago. We were a school that didn't have a specific zone or neighborhood, so to speak. Some of our students lived 30 or 45 minutes from the school, which made it necessary for us to sometimes conduct business with parents or guardians over the phone as opposed to in person. One day I met with a senior, grade 12, who was in a class that he and his father had deemed too hard for him, and since they didn't want it impacting his ability to attend college, asked for him to be changed out of the class. It was early in the semester and there was plenty of space available in other courses, so I had no problem doing it after a conversation over the phone with his father. The student was a good guy. He was totally grateful to me for helping him out. He would now get to enjoy his last year a little more with one less difficult class to worry about. The next day, I get a phone call in my office from Mom, who's irate. She spends approximately 5 minutes berating me about changing his schedule. I indicated to her that Dad was on the contact list for her son, and he was allowed to make those decisions if he chose to do so. She's the person who put Dad on there several years before. Evidently, Mom put Dad on the list before their divorce. She's raised the child over the last several years by herself, according to her, and she should make all the decisions. I didn't know this, and the records didn't reflect it. Since she knew this argument wasn't going to work, the next objection was against our policy of making decisions over the phone. The conversation went something like this. Mom: how do you know for sure it was his dad on the phone? There's no way you can be sure. I can't believe you would ever make a decision like this without a parent present. By doing business over the phone, you could be speaking to anyone. She continued on, and I tried to explain that it's necessary at times to use the phone since parents work in another town and may have to travel an hour or more to get to the school. Well, she wasn't buying it. So finally, I relented. Ma'am, you're right. I will no longer make decisions like this over the phone. I'm going to insist parents come in and meet with me in person. Mom: good. Now I need my son to be put back into the class he was in originally. Ma'am, I'm sorry. You're going to have to come in and meet with me. I'm no longer changing schedules over the phone. How do I know you're the student's mother? I can't do that. I live 45 minutes from the school and I work every day. It was at this point that she dropped all of her objections. And our next story: Revenge for the Beer Man. So back in 2011, I got my CDL, commercial driver's license for those that don't know. I wanted to get a local route, but the only place that would hire someone without experience that wasn't driving across country was a local beverage company. Our main brand was Miller. I was the Miller man. Now this job had me getting up at 4 a.m., driving to the warehouse to pick up the truck, drive up to 2 hours away to start my deliveries, delivering at most, I think, 27 stores in one day, up to about 700 cases of different product, driving back the 2 hours to the warehouse, and then clocking out. If anyone has done delivery, you know that if one thing goes wrong early in the day, then the rest of your day usually continues to go downhill. As a beer man, the prices at big chain stores had to be exact. If not, phone calls were made, prices changed, math was done. It was a lot when you're in a hurry. Now you may ask why one would be in a hurry. Well, the beer delivery job is tough, but if you're into moving around and not being lazy, it's a great job for staying in shape. Slinging 700 cases of beer a day is quite a workout, not to mention all the walking you do around stores. The reason they're in a hurry is because they're managers. They're always on your butt about what took so long at such and such store. These managers get bonuses if their drivers don't go over so many hours per week. You see where this is going. My manager, we'll call him Easy Money. This is a throwaway, but if he sees this, he'll know who I am and that it's about him. He was all buddy-buddy at first. Then this led slowly into the bullcrap about where I'm at or what's taking so long. I've been accused of taking a nap at a truck stop instead of delivering. That set me off one day, and I told him if he didn't like how I was doing my job, he could get out of his office and come tell me how to do it right. Saying that, I did try to get my hours in, but didn't stop working all day. I would face beer and wine bottles in stores when I stocked and such, Everything looked great by the time I left. I rotated every item and kept backstock looking nice. Apparently that only matters when someone important might look at it, not on a regular basis for time reasons. What really set me off was when my manager called me about 3 p.m. one evening as I'm driving my route back to the warehouse. Keep in mind it's 2 hours in one direction to the first stop. That's 4 hours on the road. He asked me where the hell I am and when I'll be back. I tell him I'm on the road and I'll be there in about an hour. Hang up. When I get back to the warehouse, he calls me into his office where his boss is also sitting. They hand me a sheet of paper that says I violated company policy by answering the phone while driving. I almost lost my crap over this because Easy Money was the one gagging out and called me. If I didn't answer, he'd be like that bad ex everyone has that blows phones up. I signed the paper, took my warning, went back to working like normal, but with vengeance on my mind. Fast forward, I quit that job for another job that paid $7 more on the hour. The beer company told me to come talk to them on my last day because I didn't give my notice until the day I quit. They offered me a $1 raise. I told them no. I was going to drop all thought about that job, but working there for 2 years, I had most of the employees added on Facebook. Easy Money was on that list of people. One day, I'm surfing the old Facebook and I see a picture that Easy Money had posted. Apparently, one of his drivers didn't show up, so he had to drive the delivery truck. I did mention earlier that these are the tractor trailers with the doors that go down the sides. Not exactly small. This motherfrigger was driving his tractor trailer down the interstate at 70 miles per hour, taking a picture of the sunrise. You can clearly see the interior of the truck, the interstate, the sunrise. I don't know anyone who stops on the interstate in the middle of the road to take a picture. I immediately emailed the beer company corporate office explaining that I was such and saw one of their drivers putting pictures on Facebook of them driving in the truck, blah, 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 dangerous, blah, blah, blah. Sent, I forgot about it. About 2 weeks later, one of my buddies that worked there sends me a text and says, "You won't believe what happened to Easy Money. Turns out he was fired." My friend said it was due to him lacking performance. Deep down, I knew what had happened. The picture that he took brought him down. All that was needed was a little help. This guy lost his pretty decent job. His wife left him for another beer manager. That wasn't any part of my doing, but I laughed my butt off. And his 2 kids stay with mommy and her new man, while new man posts things about being new dad of the year. Savage. All over trying to be cool with the picture on Facebook. And our last story. If we suck so much, why do you want us? I manage a doctor's office that's a specialty practice. We understand that patients have things come up or can forget appointments, but we were having a problem with patients no-showing for their appointments or coming very late, over 15 minutes. Over my tenure at this office, we implemented a $25 no-show same-day cancellation fee, and we also refuse to see patients that are more than 15 minutes late. While this is applied to all patients who do not call or cancel within 24 hours or more than 15 minutes late, I've given my staff full discretion to waive the fee or work the patient in if there are extenuating circumstances. People do end up in the hospital, cars do break down, etc. Side note, yes, I know, going to the doctor sucks because you're there forever, except my specialty. If you're at my office forever, something's gone horribly wrong somewhere. Please keep in mind that in my experience at least, doctors aren't running behind because they're chit-chatting with sales reps or planning their next golf trip. Usually it's because a procedure didn't go exactly as planned, a patient worked in with a minor problem actually had a major problem, a patient got bad news and the appointment is taking longer, or the fine balance between being booked and being overbooked is off. Story continued. Last year, our darling patient, Susie, ran late for her appointment. This was the 5th time she was late for her appointment within the last few months. She'd been warned about the possibility she could be turned away if she continues to be late. She ignored said warnings. This particular appointment, she showed up and her physician had already left for the day. Susie was pissed. How dare her physician not hang around after working hours to see if Susie deigns our office worthy of her presence? Susie then proceeds to berate my receptionist about how awful our office is, how we never accommodate her, and how she works in the medical field. I see patients too. I can't just leave when patients are in my office. I'm never coming back here again. You're just awful people. Oh, okay. You're late because you didn't have the foresight to schedule fewer patients or take an hour off, and this is the 5th time you've been late recently. It's our fault because we're awful and you're firing us. Sure, got it. We document the conversation. Second side note, your doctor's office documents everything. Call the receptionist a B, act like an a-hole to the phone nurse. It's documented somewhere and your doctor knows about it. As our protocol, when we terminate a patient from the practice or we're fired by a patient, we send a letter. Hers was something like, "Dear Susie, so sorry you hate us. You can contact your insurance company or local medical specialty society for a list of doctors in your area. We will happily send your medical record there." This creates an unwritten notification that we will no longer see the patient. That's the end. Or is it? Fast forward to today. I get an urgent message from my operator that Susie is on the line wanting to make an appointment. What should she do? I review the chart/notes, documentation, and remember what an entitled butt Susie is and tell the operator I'll take the call. Me. "Hi, Susie. This is PL 104191, the office manager. I was reviewing the notes on your account, and it looks like last year you fired us as your care provider." "Yes, well, my insurance has changed, and now I have to see you. I don't have a choice. I need to make an appointment to come in there. Can I come next Thursday?" "Oh, I'm sorry, Susie. I'm afraid I can't do that. Once you hire your healthcare provider and are officially terminated from the practice, you can't be seen there again. Unfortunately, that means I cannot schedule an appointment for you under any circumstance." "You're just awful. I hate dealing with your office, and I'm never coming back there anyway." "Nope, you sure aren't coming back here. But don't worry, if we're the only office that takes your insurance, I'm sure there are plenty of offices that still take cash or credit cards, even from entitled Bs. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.